Hello. So, this time I'm at 3,000 medals, but I won 14 games in a row. So, you can see all the 14 games here, and I'll show some of the nicer games during this run. So, first one is against Baton. Well, he's a good player, and he also plays everything, so I have no idea what he's playing. Yeah, so just cycle something in the back, and he plays Furnace. Furnace usually means Mega Knight or Graveyard, and so that's what I'm expecting. Barbaro makes it think that it's Graveyard, and yeah, it's definitely Graveyard. But I don't know which version until he plays Goblins, because until he plays Bass and Goblins, because Bass and Goblins tells me that he's this giant skeleton version. So I'm just gonna be passive, because if I go in too hard and use my Pekka on something that I shouldn't, he's just going to build a big push, and I'm going to lose. So, however, he goes really aggressively for some reason. I'm not really sure. And the hut is really bad, because I can just snipe with a Marcher, and because I have ability, he can't really Barbaro, because I'll just Marcher it backwards. And exactly what I said, Marcher backwards, I'm going to put a Ram in front. And because the Marcher is still alive, he can't really go Goblins. And this is basically a tower. It's basically game over. Just not sure why he played such a high Goblin hut. I know he's Goblins, I'm just waiting, and then I'll play Ghost, and yeah, he gives up. I mean, I don't think he has to. He could try for a Giant Skeleton there, but I guess it's hard. So yeah, that's game number 1, and I'm just gonna 3-crown him. And I think the main thing in this matchup, when, well, we don't 3-crown them in single, is just being very passive and only pushing when you have control, because if you go in too aggressively, you're gonna lose, because they can defend very well with Goblins in their hut. Okay? Lucas, he's playing RG, but he's log, so it's a bit odd. I didn't know he's playing RG because, again, he's someone who plays everything. And he's Monk, so this actually makes it a rather decent matchup for us. But I don't know that. I don't know what he has until he either plays Monk or he doesn't play a Ghost for long enough. So here I'm just thinking, okay, he's normal RG, so I'm gonna cycle in the back. He does the same, and I would Pekka here because he doesn't have a fisherman. Oh, sorry. I thought because he doesn't have like an evolution. He does have fisherman. He doesn't have an evolution to like just support his RG, so he can't really take my towers. So I get to control the game with the Pekka, and he defends well because, well, he's a pro. And I think it wasn't the best thing to do, but it's also fine because I do need to get some stuff out of my hand, and now I have a good cycle where I can lay back. And then here, and then I can zap the fisherman last second to get it on the tower, which is a good zap. And here I'm thinking he might RG, but I don't think he actually will because he played so much elixir, so I go back in the back again. If I had to do it again, I would play in the corner, so it's actually closer to where you put the RG. But it is what it is. I always pack it back because if you just keep playing your small cards, they're gonna lose to his, and you're gonna probably face an unstoppable RG push and just get out-chipped. So we do all this and try to take one of the towers, but Evil Hunter is pretty good, and took out the entire left side, so I have to try to build a push on the right. Plays a good Fisher, so I have to E-Wiz and go Ram here, and his Hunter is on my tower, so I have to try to kill it, and I get pretty lucky here because I think that Hunter is going to shoot again, but it goes onto my Ghost because it's an Evil Hunter, and I try to shoot a net. But anyway, I do win, so. Anyway, next game. That game was kind of bad, but I still won. So this one's against Faith. I know who Faith is. He usually plays Mega Knight, so I'm expecting Mega Knight. So it's probably the one who was Empress and Eva Ghost and Goblins. But his is actually a bit different. He has Magic Archer instead of Goblins. And, well, he played Mega Knight, so I'm going to pack it as 100%. And any Empresses. I can't push into this because I just don't have enough elixir to do that, and the march is too far away from the Empress, it's not gonna die. So I just let everything die out and play something to tank for the Empress. And I was pretty surprised that he had Magic Archer because well, normally he has Hero Goblins in this version of the deck. But yeah, it is not. He abilities, which is very normal, Bandit, and then he supports his Marcher, and this is just a normal sequence. I E-Wiz a bit late. I do want the Marcher to be on my E-Wiz. It's fine. And I don't want to play a Pekka at the back, because then I'm going to run straight into an Empress. So, yeah. He hits a good Fireball on the Magic Archer. And, well, I'm just waiting because I can't really play Pekka or a Ram, so here I wait for him to ability and then Fireball everything. And it just cancels out again. I really don't like that Ram Rider because I can defend very easily, and now he has to commit something. Yeah, he has to commit a whole Mega Knight, so now I can actually have a chance to play my Pekka in a position that's not awkward. Yeah. And that Marcher is really bad. And so now we have a chance to push into him. And he doesn't have Fireball, so he can't kill my E-Wiz I put behind my Pekka. So I'm just gonna leave it there and then protect my E-Wiz. And this is basically game-winning damage because the usual problem in this matchup is actually getting damage because defending is not that hard. Well, he has Magic Archer, so it might be a bit harder than usual, but well, defense is not the problem. Unless you're down damage, and then you have to like be more aggressive, and then you might not defend, but usually defending is not a problem. Yeah, usually you're gonna play your Baton Ram opposite to your Pekka because he does have a Mega Knight. You don't want to give them such huge Mega Knight value. And I think this matchup is worse when they have Goblins because they're missing a really good round tank for their pushes, which makes it much more awkward for them to actually defend easily. Yeah, so this is pretty easy matchup. Nice. Okay, also know who this guy is, so I know he's gonna play drill. I just don't know what version of drill. Hero Magic Archer is so good now that there is a literal Hero Magic Archer drill version where they replaced the Demolisher with Magic Archer. And, well, I like going Pekka into your Knight because now they don't have a tank. They're missing their, like, biggest tank, so their cycle's gonna be a little bit awkward. And here I play Ram. It's a Ram push, so it's not gonna be cutted by that placement of a cannon. So he's panicking. Right? And I zap the cannon because then it won't damage our Pekka. And I know he's gonna drill, so I'm gonna go Ghost behind the Pekka, and it's gonna splash the drill goblins. And he's gonna snowball, so I banded the bridge, and it's game over. All from when I went Pekka on his Knight. Because he had a more awkward cycle, and then he went, I don't know, way too aggressively for some reason on the left side. And then also messed up his cannon placement. So, series of very unfortunate plays by the opponent. But yeah, I'll take it. I'm not sure if he's given up yet. So I play around the bridge, and he plays nothing, so I 3-crown yet another person. Lovely. To be fair, this matchup gets worse the further you get into the game, so if you win, you do want to win in single. Alright, so this guy is called Pure on PC. I have no idea who he is, so we just play a random card in the back. Mega Minion usually means Golem or Lava, so that's what I'm thinking, because he does have Dagger Duchess. And he plays guards, so that's kind of annoying. But you can hear Magic Archer away from the Mega Minion ability. I go back in front for pressure, and he plays Lava Hound. And here I am very annoyed because he has guards and barbarians. So the question is, how in God's name am I going to get damage except from here? Well, the answer is, well, I guess you just take their entire tower here. Because he really screws this up. I think if he went Fireball, he was just fine. But here he takes so much damage. And they even get his Sneak Bandit in front. And he gives up his tower, which is probably a good idea. And I just need to defend. And I know he has Baby Dragon and Barbarian, so I U is low. Well, yep, I U is low, so that he can't just go Baby Dragon on it. And he probably has Fireball Zap, so I need to get to Magic Archer. And he does something really dumb. He zaps my tower, so retarget onto the balloon. So I took one less hit than I would have. So from here, I need to just defend, which isn't necessarily that easy against a lava deck that has so much air. And I think I actually do something pretty bad here, which is playing the Baron on the other lane, because I should have threatened to take his tower here instead. But yeah, now I have a difficult defense, so I have to even low. I know he's going to Mega Minion ability. So I Fireball those two together. Magic Archer, so it targets that, and I keep my tower. And I think he thought the left side was going to be taken, so he didn't bother actually going for it. And so he can't take either of my towers here. And yeah, that's just it. definitely messed up. Yeah, but we take these. It's a very hard matchup, I think, when they have barbarians and guards. Sabrina. And remember what I said about Mega Minion without Dagger Duchess usually being lava or golem? Well, this guy's different. I see Dark Red, so okay, that could be anything. And he goes Mega Minion. It's like, okay, that's weird. That seems like Giant, but he has no Dagger Duchess. Well, it's literally Giant without Dagger Duchess. I mean, I guess. So, like I said before about Giant, you're gonna place things in the back, and ideally, try to not, um, try to not play a Pekka directly on top of the Giant, but sometimes it's a little unavoidable. Yeah, but most of the game, again, you're gonna be passive, because you can really lose after one defense down elixir, so have to be really careful. Magic Archon back because he has no fireball. I mean, he can hear Mega Minion, of course, but I can teleport it backwards. But he could go Mega Minion Rage. To be fair, that is 7 elixir, so I don't think he wanted to do that. I go really aggressively here because he just played both his tanks. And obviously that was a good idea because, well, I did so much damage. I TP back and he gets one more shot. So his tower is fireball zap range. And I'm not down anything. Goes Giant. Again, I don't want to peck on this because that's just... If he goes ability, then I peck is gone, and that's 7 elixir, so I play Defender with small troops, which gives me also more of a counter push. And, well, the game is over. He can't. It's not possible for him to win from here, because he just simply can't build a push in the time that's left. So yeah, we played passively and then baited out his small troops, not his small troops, both his princes, so he has no DPS, and yeah. Also, I don't know what that magic archer ability was. I think I misclicked it. But yeah, game's over. And we can just move on to the next. I think Giant this season is a bit harder than before, even because of the hero Mega Minion. You can't really magic archer in the same lane as a Giant anymore, because if the hero Mega Minion, then you're basically dead because there's gonna be a hero Mega Minion right next to your tower. Anyway, Yoss team. I have no idea what he's playing, but after the first 2 cards, you know it's Psycho, and because it's Fire Spirit, it's probably Drill. And I'm Prophetic. It's indeed Drill. And I see Bomber, and it's either Bomber Poison or Bomber Rocket, and both are really bad matchups, so it's gonna be a bit of a grind. Pekka itself is actually pretty useless in this because it's just gonna die to the a billion distraction cards that they have. So when you're trying to sustain pressure in double or triple elixir, the best thing to use are your smaller spammier troops. And also here again someone else falls for the ram push, and you're gonna want to use Magic Archer and your spam troops to get damage, which we do here. And we have a nice little 1000 damage lead. Most likely this is not enough, but it's a good start. can't really let him play Hero Knight ability, so I have to Fireball it just to get rid of it. And yeah, after this drill poison, they already get back capture damage. So I was like, alright, I'm gonna Pekka just to control the lane for a bit. And because I have no good cards to play for the elixir in my hand. So I know I said to not Pekka when you try to continuously pressure, but here we're just trying to build up pressure rather than continue it. And you're gonna need some sort of tanky troop to fill up some of the map. And here I just reset because there's no point continuing this push. It's completely dead. Just Pekka in the back to clog up that lane again. And I think here's a slightly better chance to get damage. Because he has no evil snowball and no evil cannon. And I fireball the bomber because I just need to fireball that. Otherwise it's not gonna die. And Marcher here, try to get a snipe on something. It's not gonna happen. And I tried to protect the Marcher and I failed. No Pekka, you spam it to spam cards. And that gets pushed. But this time it's double, so he's gonna play something to prevent it. But then the knight gets pulled back and you get some Marcher damage. Yep. You get 2 shots, and the damage is 1,000 again. It might be enough, it might not. And you can't really try to defend the rest of the game. You have to get pressure, because things like that are gonna happen, and you can't really prevent it. So, no Pekkas, spam cards only. Wait for the evil cannon, and then magic archer. No Pekkas. Don't play Pekka. It will just ruin all your pressure. And that drill is on my tower, so I play Ghost on it. Marcher does not get a shot. Oh, that was harsh. Here again, no Pekkas. Just keep spamming so they can't pressure you with a drill, because Pekka's way too slow. We get stuck at the back, and we get 2 Marcher shots because of the pressure. And that's good game. Yeah, because we kept up the pressure really well, didn't really let them get into a period of sustained drills. We win. Alright, so this is Corbo, and I'm not really sure who he is, but he goes, so I counter it with a Marcher ability. And this is the normal version of that Mega Knight deck. Like I said before, you're going to be passive, you're not going to go play Pekka in the back, because it's going to run straight into Spirit Empress, unless you believe that you have a cycle where you have both your Magic Archer and your E-Wids, because they only have one fireball, they can only fireball one thing. So if you can support it with that behind safely, then it's actually okay to play a Pekka. Here he Mega Knights, and so I'm just going to play Pekka now because he wants Mega Knight. And it's really unfortunate that my Marcher died. It's kind of sad, I don't really know how, it's kind of a bit of a scam, but we're fine, we can eat with. And he can't really fire what's happened because then he put himself on 0. So I'm gonna go with this. Yep. Space it out a little bit so it's not easy to fireball. And we get good damage. Well, the unfortunate thing is that I thought that bandit was going to dash onto the Eva Ghost. Instead it dashed onto nothing, so this defense is a bit of a nightmare. Can we defend? Well, playing the Ghost high. And he was a 0. And we do defend. So, this position is a little iffy. But it's playable. We're only down 500. And we go for a Marcher. He's gonna fireball. I don't even try to ability it. I probably should, but it's whatever. Go Pekka the Bridge. I don't actually like this Pekka here. I think I got a bit panicky because here I don't have a Pekka in case he Mega Knights, but thankfully he doesn't. And we defend with this. And we always want to tank for Ewis against the Empress because Ewis is actually really good, but has no HP, so. And here we can go for a Marcher because Ghost 3 shots Marcher. And I don't think he realized how much damage that does. And yeah, get a really nice way to finish off the game. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And the last one I'm going to show for today is a different deck. Pigs are still very popular. And, oh yeah, this game I was kind of tilted. So I went Pekka the Bridge first play for no reason. Well, we don't talk about it. And I just ignore the ghost completely. And this is funny because I get quite a bit of damage here. And that's a good zap and everything, and, well, for going Pekka the Bridge first play when you're tilted, it's not a bad start. This is like the first game I played on a run, so I was pretty low. And I wouldn't agree with that ghost, because now we leave ourselves down an entire evil ghost. And obviously we can't defend it directly, so we Ewis and then fireball the left pigs. It's probably as good as you could hope for in that situation. If he split his pigs, I think we would have had bigger problems. And, well, now that I'm actually playing the game, I have to be smarter. Never mind. That push doesn't even work on a Goblin time. I have no idea why I tried it. But he did spend 10 elixir on defense, so the position I'm in is fine. And I put the ghost here, so it's gonna activate King when he presses the ability. And yeah, we get it. And to defend this, we play a Hero March of our own. And Fireball. Good defense. We take no damage except for his 2 Marcher shots here. And, well, it's getting a bit close. And I think he's gonna Marcher. And I knew he's gonna Marcher, but I misplaced my Ewis. So now I really have to go in, because I have no other choice. If he goes pigs here, I'd zap an Ewa Ghost, so he doesn't do it. And he has Fireball, so I'm just trying to... Well, also don't march in the middle there, because I thought he was going to predict it, and he does. And this is a good chance of getting damage, but he has Evil Ghost, so... nothing really happens, but the left side. He missed the kite with the skellies in the middle, so the Pekka got onto the tower, and I wish that was Farmer's Zap range, but it's not, so I have to defend for a little bit. I Farmer's Marcher. It's a little risky, and he messes up his Marcher. At this point, I have no idea what happened here. And thankfully, my marcher doesn't die. And we win one of the weirdest games I've ever played. Nice. Anyway, that's 14 wins in a row. Thanks for watching.